شرب الخمر.
Across the country have this and more on our lineup, and a case of a governor and his deputy as well. We have an eminent jurist and a former lawmaker with us. My name is Fisaya Ogunfui. Welcome. The federal government says the renewed hope agenda of the current administration will work out modalities in dealing with the myriad of challenges in social and economic sectors confronting the nation. Vice President Kashim Shettima gave the assurance at a public lecture to mark Nigeria's 63rd independence anniversary at the banquet hall of the presidential villa in Abuja.
The vision of renewed hope for socio-economic development through effective leadership is the theme of the Nigeria at 63 lecture. The economic potentials of Nigeria, Vice President Kashim Shettima said, will be achieved through formulation and implementation of government policies and programs that are realizable towards the nation's aspiration of becoming one of the 20 largest economies of the world by 2030.
We cannot renew the hope of the nation unless we deliver on our promise to drive food security and eradicate poverty. We cannot foster economic growth and nurture job creation unless we facilitate access to capital, enhance national security, and optimize the business environment for our enterprises. We are going to uphold the rule of law and fight corruption to design the Nigeria of our dream. We can't achieve any of these unless each citizen remains a strategic partner in pursuit of our ultimate national interests.
So we have no excuse. We have no excuse to the Nigerian people that we cannot be able to succeed, particularly at this very trying time. We have people from the other side that are willing to come to us. And we are people as well who are willing to also go to that side for us to harmonize, to partner, to collaborate in ensuring that the Nigerian people get the best out of us.
Let me assure you that beyond the celebration of the 63rd independence anniversary, the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation has a coordinating point for implementation of policies and decisions of government that has made full arrangements to document and carry forward the critical outcomes of the symposium to the highest level of political leadership.
Meanwhile, the National Economic Council has appealed to members of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress to shelve the proposed industrial action and embrace dialogue, considering its implication on the economy. This was part of the resolutions made at the end of the 136th meeting of the Council, chaired by Vice President Kashim Shettima at the presidential villa.
Issues of economic recovery were top on the agenda of the National Economic Council, showing concerns on the proposed industrial action by labor unions.
We also believe that Mr. President will be addressing the nation 1st October, and some of the concerns of labor will be appropriately addressed in the President's speech. It is therefore important that it's a federation, so whatever happens, labor is represented in all the 36 states and FCT, and NEC is appealing that discussions should continue at the state levels because there will be peculiarities as to the issues to be addressed concerning the demands of labor.
Moving on now, dialogue and robust engagement between the government, security agencies and non-state actors have been identified as a major key towards resolving security challenges facing the southeast region of the country. This was the view of stakeholders at the ongoing Southeast Economic and Security Summit holding in Owerri.
Southeast region, like other regions in the country, is being faced with one form of security challenge or another. However, despite the fact that these security bridges are often surmounted by security agencies in the country, it has continued to rear its ugly head. In view of this, stakeholders in the region and the entire national security architecture gather in Owerri, the Imo State capital, to provide solution to the security challenges facing the zone.
We must go out of here with clear vision and direction of where we are going.
It's my duty as a father to take steps to ensure that bloodshed is stopped.
The Southeast has so many talents and opportunities, and I think we can plan how to exploit them all.
Governors from the zone and other critical stakeholders decry dwindling economic features of the region due to insecurity, called for concerted efforts to bring it to an end.
Okay, we'll move to our discussion now. 63 long steps in the nation's journey, Nigeria's journey to nationhood. Development, peace, and tranquility, with different options considered and adopted along the way. How far so far? A lawyer and a former lawmaker, Senator Itayanang, joins us today. Senator, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Now, how long have we come as a nation? You yourself, you have been a child of destiny as far as our democratic processes are concerned, from the states to the national. But you have matured, but are we maturing?
Yeah, and I want to say that it was from the university and as a student union leader, and of course rather to the local government as a councillor in the local government, before the state House of Assembly, and before the national in this House of Representatives, Senate, and at the presidency. I want to congratulate Nigeria, and I congratulate Nigeria because to be alive is a matter to thank God about. And I want to say that we are not likely celebrating very loud, but we're simply marking, because the government coming in has identified so much of the problems. It has identified it, and it is working on the solution. I had listened to the address by His Excellency the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima. I've also listened to the assuring words given by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tijani, and of course the reassurance that was re-echoed by the Secretary to Government, Senator George Akume. And I want to say that there is a lot of hope that in the next very few months, we are going to have visible things to show as part of the dividends of the renewed hope agenda. There is hope in the APC programs, but we are renewing the hope as a party and as a government. And this government came to meet the challenge of subsidy, where we were borrowing to pay subsidy, and it had to take the bold step to say, look, if we had the money ourselves, and we could perhaps have continued, but we cannot be borrowing to continue, so subsidy must stop. And fuel price rose from 195 to now 617, a little bit more than three times above that. And of course, the diesel price we made at 700 is going up to a little over 1,000, about 1,000, or hovering around 1,000 naira per liter. Now, what are we going to do, and what should we do? What we should do is to ask ourselves, if China were in this position, what will it do? China would mobilize its local resources. It will mobilize its local potentials. What did Taiwan do? You call it Taiwan because you think it's imitation. Taiwan will mobilize its local resources and Taiwanese and produce results and become independent. We are celebrating or marking independence, but where there is no country that can be independent when you cannot feed your citizens with resources or food that you are producing in your country, when you are not economically dependent, when your currency or the value of your currency is determined by the external forces, depending on what you need to import from other countries, using either the pound, the dollar, or the euro or other currencies. You can't be an independent country when you cannot refine petroleum products. You cannot be an independent country. Even if you can refine with imported refined refineries, you are still not independent. So let us take this as a challenge for the country and then mark and work towards total independence economically, politically, and otherwise.
All right, that's on the side of the, ensuring economic renaissance, as we've seen in copious plans and, well articulated, in different quarters in the past few months in terms of where we want to go as a nation. Now, looking at administratively, perhaps in the Fourth Republic, I asked the question earlier, are we mature? And we've seen some, trends, at least if we start from the state level, we've seen a governor accepting, the apology of his deputy. Are we, in terms of our political, maturity, are we getting there as well? And the messaging to those watching those on the podium as well, are we advertising our democracy?
I think we're getting there at the federal level very seriously, and we're getting there 90% at the federal level. But at the state level, we are still at 30%. 30% in terms of the fact that when you consider the federal level, there is the president and the presidency at the executive. There are the ministers. The president holds the National Assembly in high esteem. The president does not do a thing and think that the National Assembly will just approve it. The president and the presidency thinks through a matter before it sends it out to the National Assembly. It does not do a matter until the National Assembly approves, unless it's a matter which it thinks that it should assume an anticipatory approval. The president and the executive, the ministers, do not do a thing, taking the judiciary for granted. The president and the presidency and the executive and the government at the federal level, they send their money, the money of the National Assembly, that is the legislature, to the legislature as first-line charge. They send the money of the judiciary to the judiciary as first-line charge. But you cannot have this at the federal level. President Buhari, as he then was, started a project and said, look, treat governors, treat the houses of assembly in your state even half of how I have treated the National Assembly at the federal. Treat your judiciary in your state the way I have treated the judiciary at the national level. He did three amendments during his tenure. The last amendment to the Constitution was amendment of Section 121, subsection, which created subsection 3A and B, which required that every state government should set up disbursement committee made up of the Commissioner of Finance as the chairman, the Director of Budget, the clerk to the House of Assembly, the man in charge of the House of Assembly budget, the Chief Registrar of the State Judiciary, of the State High Court, the Registrar of the Customary Court of Appeal or the Sharia Court of Appeal, whichever is applicable, and then others. And then the clerk of the State House of Assembly Service Commission, and then the accounting officers of these institutions, so that they are all members. It was intended that they should sit and share, that whenever the money of the government, from the federation account comes, it comes into the purse, and that body will share, looking at the budget, how much is the state executive entitled, it sends to it. How much is the House of Assembly entitled, it sends to it. How much is the judiciary, it sends to each of the arms strata of the judiciary. And then how much is the House of Assembly Service Commission entitled, it sends to it. Now, none of the 36 states of the Federation has obeyed this since the new administration was inaugurated. None of them. It is a constitutional provision. So when you are, and people think that when you are measuring the stability of democracy or the compliance of a country with democratic norms, it is not only what is done at the federal level, it is what is done at the federal level, what is done at the state level, what is done at the local government level, because the local government has its own functions under the Constitution. Now, are the local governments being treated by the governors of the respective states in the way that President His Excellency President Tinubu, GCFR, has treated the states, the government of the state, where he sends their monies straight through the Federation Account Allocation Committee to the account of the state. Have the state government sent these monies to the judiciary, to the legislature, and to the local government, as allowed, as stated by the Constitution? Now, when you see international organizations, governments of other countries rate Nigerian democracy low, they are not rating the Nigerian democracy at the federal level only,
but at the subnationals.
They do it at all.
All right, we'll come to some other issues very quickly. Let's take a few stories. The Kaduna State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal has dismissed the petition of the People's Democratic Party against the victory of State Governor Uba Sani, ruling the preliminary objection filed by the APC on the late filing of pre-hearing notice. The three-man tribunal in the 2-1 verdict ruled that the PDP petition was deemed abandoned by the petitioners. Dele Atumbi of our Judiciary Desk reports that the tribunal, in a main petition of 2-1, ordered a rerun and declared the election inconclusive.
The petitioners in this matter are the People's Democratic Party and its candidate Isa Ashiru, challenging the victory of Governor Uba Sani of the APC. Governor Uba Sani and his party, as respondent in the matter, raised preliminary objection on the competence of the petition. Ruling on the preliminary objection raised by the respondents, the tribunal in a 2-1 ruled that the petitioners filed the pre-hearing notice behind schedule. In the light of this, the petitioners were deemed to have abandoned the petition. Going into the main petition, the tribunal in 2-1 found for the petitioners an order rerun in 22 polling units in 7 wards across 4 local government areas of the state.
On merit, 2 of them said that election is supposed to be conducted in 22 polling units because the number of the voters there exceed the margin of lead. But they have said that the PDP wanted it to be declared as the winner of the election. The tribunal said that they have no proof that. They allege that there are corrupt practices perpetrated by APC. They said they have no proof that. So in essence, as of today, the PDP petition is dismissed.
Naturally, if you have this kind of a situation, there will be issue of appeals. We also don't agree with the position of the court as regards the first arm of the judgment. So we'll test it.
You see, before I say what is my stand with the judgment today is, by the grace of God, election petition is my area. This is what I've been doing since 1983. But I'm not happy with the comment of one lawyer who said the governor is removed. No, the governor is not removed at all. The governor can be there until the election in those areas are conducted, or if the governor decides to appeal, or whoever decides to appeal, until the appeals are finally determined. So it's wrong for a lawyer to say that the governor is removed. The governor is not removed. Everybody must know this. This is the law.
More on that later. The National Coalition Against Terrorism has drawn the attention of federal government and security agencies to ensure the reinforcement of security agents in Kano State to foil any attempt to breach the existing peace in the ancient commercial city.
Not cautious enough to take measures, we are going to put in place a very fierce and serious issue, which is the reinsurgence of another group in northern Nigeria that is coming to destroy activities and businesses in one of the biggest commercial centers in this country. The Kwankwansia movement is threatening the honorable justices and judicial officers for being courageous enough to deliver such a just judgment.
Go to other stories in a bit. Let's just take all the political stories before we come to our final leg of our discussion. Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule has commended member representing Wamba, Nasarawa, Egon, and Akwanga Federal Constituency Jeremiah Umaru for his commitment to his constituents and key contributions on the floor of the Green Chamber. Jeremiah Umaru has equally reached out to youths and students in his area with scholarship schemes and business startup equipment.
There is no way an unserious member will be able to sponsor 6 bills in less than 100 days. No way whatsoever. He is a performer, he is competent, he has capacity, and he has the will and the wisdom to do it.
From the day I declared to contest this election, I told myself and I told God, if I win this election, I will go there and serve my people. I will go there and represent my people. And today, to the glory of God, we are representing our people. And we will continue to represent our people effectively. The youth of Nasarawa State, the youth of Nigeria, the youth of Nasarawa North supported us massively. And that is why we felt it is good to bring sustainable development, starting with that bill.
The leadership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, is confident of bouncing back to its old winning ways. The party expressed this confidence at the presentation of the People's Democratic Institute's Establishment Committee report to the National Working Committee of the party in Abuja.
People's Democratic Institute, PDI, is the training and research arm of the People's Democratic Party, PDP.
To the acting national chairman.
Efforts towards making it vibrant again brought about its establishment committee, chaired by the PDP Deputy Chairman South, Ambassador Tawfiq Arakbaja. The committee's major task is to recruit a Director General to lead the institute as well as put in place a governing board.
It's a first step towards the revival of the institute. The educating office building was rented, renovated, furnished, and equipped for PDI to effectively engage the purpose for which it was established. This was made possible through the assistance granted to the party by His Excellency Sheyi Makinde, the Executive Governor for your state.
The acting national chairman of the PDP, Ambassador Umar Ilia Damagum, explained that the party's leadership allowed the committee to function without interference.
We'll look at the report as NWC holistically.
PDP leaders at all levels are enjoined to key into the party's efforts towards reviving the institute, as exemplified by the governor of your state, Sheyi Makinde.
All right, we're still talking political update on the 63rd anniversary of the country. Two things, Senator, that you have to treat in about 3 minutes, about 2.5, 3 minutes. First, the Executive Governor of Edo State has accepted the apology of his deputy. He says in a statement, I've noted the public apology made by Deputy Governor of the State, His Excellency Honorable Comrade Philip Shuaibu. This apology followed on what he called aberrant behavior that contradicts what the people of the state stand for. That's one. The second one is, of course, this cycle that always ends in courts. Is it going to strengthen our democracy? We've seen, tribunal judgments across the country in the past 2 weeks, some jubilating and some returning to court at a higher level. Let's take Edo and then we'll go to that and we'll close shop.
Well, let me commend the governor of Edo State and the deputy governor for sitting on the table and resolving. But I want to disagree with the governor. He's my friend, my very good and personal friend, Governor Obaseki. We have good personal relationship. But I disagree in the manner he treated the deputy governor. That's number one. Number two, I disagree even in the wordings he has used in the published statement he has made about the deputy governor, treating the deputy governor as if he were one of his commissioners or one of his appointees. It is not right. Those words were very nice in English, but were very demeaning politically. So he's my friend, so I could tell him that it is wrong. I also want to use that opportunity, the people in the church will say I use it as a point of contact, to address the question that is happening in Ondo State. I want to urge His Excellency, my brother, the governor, the learned senior advocate of Nigeria, Alakunri, that please, as the senior advocate of Nigeria, as one the Lord has delivered, please look at the things that are happening in your state with your deputy governor. The process is not right, the issues are not right, politically it is not right. Not that a deputy governor can do right or wrong, but the way a deputy governor is treated is very wrong. That was not the intent of the Constitution. That was not the intent of the Constitution. A deputy governor should be placed at the same. I'm sure we should watch the way President Buhari related with Professor Osinbanjo as vice president, and the way President Tinubu is relating with and working along with His Excellency the Vice President Shetima as colleagues and partners. But in the state level, you will see the kind of thing that is happening in Edo, the kind of thing that is happening in Ondo. It is not right. Please, governors should please treat their deputies as if they were colleagues and they were on the same ticket.
Senator,
coming to the
no, we won't be able to take that. We'll probably
on the election petitions. Let us agree and please abide by the judgment of the tribunals, knowing that there are further steps at the appeal court and at the Supreme Court. Let us not use hard words against the members or justices of the tribunal, and let us not go after attacking
That's
them.
how much
Thank
we
you
can
very
take
much.
on the program. That's been the program. We'll be back on Tuesday, God willing. Happy Independence Anniversary.